Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Well, today is the day. If you've been following along with the various episodes that I've posted recently about getting this bike back on the road, this is the day that I am going to try and start this bike. She's got fresh oil. She's got brand new spark plugs. I'll be adding a new air filter. I'm going to be putting in a brand new battery. I'm going to put a couple of gallons of fresh fuel in the tank. I'm going to say some prayers to the motorcycle gods, and I'm going to turn this key, add some choke, add a little bit of throttle, and hopefully with a prayer she'll start. If she doesn't, she doesn't, but we'll see. She's 43 years in mothballs. She's ready to go, and I am dying to see if she will fire up. She's a long way from being roadworthy. It'll be wonderful to know that the engine is good and she runs. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned. This one's going to be fun. All right, so as you can see, I've got the airbox cover off. New disposable paper air filter. I'm not going to use my original canister one because I'm concerned that the uni foam that I put on it is way too tight. I've got a Make 2 homemade foam gasket here, weather stripping gasket around the edge to go in, and dropping these bad boys in is as simple as putting it in with the tab facing up, dropping it in, centering it, taking your retaining clip, and if you can see on the sides here, you've got a line, two lines here. This is where your clip slides down and holds it in place. So drop this in first, then center your retaining clip and literally push it down and in, and that is held in place. Then the cover goes back on and the two bolts hold it down. For this video, me starting the bike, all I need is the air filter in place, nothing else. So next up, we're going to put a brand new battery in. So battery's going here, all the wires are disconnected. I've just got a positive and a negative, and we're going to do that. Well, I guess they say big motorcycles demand large batteries, and this bike is no exception. I've got a brand new AGM battery. That's a glass mat sealed battery. Anyway, time to put this new battery in. It's hefty, shall we say, but it's a big bike. You want to put the negative terminal to the left and positive terminal to the right side of the bike. There's a better view of the battery going in. And you see the model number Y50N18L83. It's a 12 volt, 21 ampere. So grounding wire first, negative on the negative side. All right, so now connecting up the positive side, crank this down. And when I say crank it down, crank it. Really crank it. You need an excellent connection. 13.45. All right, good. All right, so battery's in. May as well close up the battery door. Nice and tight. It's time to put some fuel in this bad boy. Key out. Turn it to the right. So I'm lucky that the previous owner drained all the fuel out of the tank prior to storage. So it's not 100% bone dry. There is a tiny bit down in the very bottom of the tank I saw with my inspection camera, but you know, until I take the tank off and you know, completely clean it out, I figured we're fine. Rag to catch any of the fuel spills. I'm a little bit anal about filling up my bikes with fuel, especially from a thing. I use a sort of an old milk jug cut in half and put that on top, homemade funnel. So I really don't want any splashes. And I'm putting 2 gallons of fuel in. Now my petcock is in the off position right now, obviously, but once I've got this 2 gallons in, I'm going to go check the lines. So this is 91 octane fuel. Here in California we've got 87, 89 and 91. Actually, I haven't checked the owner's manual to see what fuel they recommend. Considering it's 1979, they probably want leaded. I'm not sure if I have to add a lead substitute. Maybe not. I'll have to check. I'm not sure. I will ask on the forum what fuel is best. I can't imagine it requires anything too special. It's a Honda. Alrighty. 2 gallons of fuel. Lid back on. So exciting, we're getting to the point of no return. 2 gallons of fuel, fresh oil filter, oil cleaner, oil, brand new spark plugs. I checked all the wires, brand new battery, everything's connected properly. Petcock is in the off position. This rubber fuel line, soft and malleable, there's no cracks in it, so until I switch the fuel on we won't know. But one of the most common things with these old bikes is the petcock going bad and it leaking. And they're actually really expensive. They're like $175 or something crazy for an original NOS one, new old stock. And I think they're only available from out of Japan. These are rebuildable. You can drill out the little rivets here, put a new washer gasket on the inside, and then drill and tap these two where they will be holes once it's drilled out, and reassemble it, and you'll have an old petcock that's new again for the cost of an $8 gasket. Now if this thing leaks, I'm going to have to do that or spend $175 on a whole new petcock. I think probably I'll do the rebuild. It'll make for a more interesting video trying to rebuild one of these for $8. Just in case this petcock leaks. So reserve is up, on is down. There's certainly enough fuel in the tank for it to work on reserve with 2 gallons in it. So let's turn it and see. However, knowing that as soon as I turn it, the float bowls are going to start filling up with fuel. But we'll have to examine if there's any leaks. You know what, I think I probably should get my inspection camera, because that's going to help me see the fuel lines inside the carbs to see if there's any fuel leaking. Yeah, whatever, let's just turn it on and see. So if we go down, so that's not, oh, we got a little drip, right? So yeah, it's leaking. Well, it can't all be good news, can it? Not horrible, but it is leaking in the on position. Drip, drip, drip. Yep, that stopped the leak. So it does stop leaking in the off position, and then if we go up to the reserve position, no leak. So that's now in the reserve position and we've got no leak. So it's only leaking in one position when it's on. Interesting. Oh, we've got leakage. We've got what? We've got fuel. No. No. Fuel is going everywhere. That completely sucks. We've got fuel pouring out from under the bike, which means the carbs are leaking horribly. Horribly, horribly, horribly. Nice puddle of fuel under the bike. Time to get the inspection camera out, and I'm going to look in here and under and see where it's leaking from and see if it's an easy fix. And I'm going in underneath the carbs to see what I can see. So I got some advice from the International CBX forum, and the general consensus was for me to let the O-ring swell up with the fuel that's come in, wait 20 minutes, half an hour, and then tap the top of the float bowls with the wooden handle end of a hammer. Give them a little whack, and hopefully the needles inside will drop and will allow fuel through the carbs. So that's what I've done. Okay, so after further examination and sticking the inspection camera up underneath the carbs, the 6-into-1, those are the carb overflow pipes at the bottom of the carbs. So the carb overflow line is here, and that runs down to the bottom of the bike, and that's where I was getting the gas pouring out the bottom. I've added a empty thing here underneath to catch the fuel. I now have the dilemma of the fuel is definitely going through the carbs but overflowing the float bowls because the needles are stuck, or there's some other problems in there. The O-rings have worn out, there's no vacuum in there, there could be any number of things. Now these 6 carbs obviously need to be fixed, overhauled, rebuilt and put back on the bike. The big question is, shall we try and start it even though the fuel's pouring out the overflow? Alright, well, I'm going to throw caution to the wind. At this point, I really hope I don't cause a huge fire. Set fire to my garage, set fire to my motorcycle. The other big risk of doing this is hydrolock, locking up the engine and bending a rod, which I really don't want to do. I do have a good fire extinguisher ready, just in case. There's no obvious fuel leaks from any of the lines underneath the bike. So it's probably just sticky needles, sticky valves, gunk in the carbs, which very likely means the bike will not start. It's just not going to get fuel correctly. If it does start, I'm going to be amazed, but it's highly unlikely. We're going to put it into the run position. We'll put the choke on, give it a little bit of throttle. First time turning the key. Oof. Voltage came up. It's in neutral. The red oil light is on. So let's press the starter. Actually, let's make sure. Yep. Here we go. Might help if I turn the petcock on. Oh my God! Oh my God, she started. Holy crap. I was not expecting that. Sincerely, I was not expecting that. That is the first time this bike has started in 43 years. Oh my goodness. That is so exciting. I'm literally shaking. I'm just like, what? After fuel going everywhere and there's no leaks under there. It's dribbling fuel from the overflow. Wow. Wow. All right, I'm going to do this again. This is, oh my, on, choke. Oh my goodness! She's idling! I got a little bit of leaky petcock. Well, I might be celebrating a bit sooner than I thought. We've got some smoke here. Not sure what that's coming from. She started, but she's smoking. Alright, so let's figure out what that problem is.